Rob and Slim Show.
Hey, how you doing? It's Dan from You Watch, I Listen.
Good. How you doing, Dan?
Not bad, man. How you guys doing?
Pretty
All
good.
right.
Pretty good. You're in North Jersey, right?
Yeah, we're up in the sticks, covered by ice and snow.
I
It took
was
me
gonna
almost an hour
ask.
to get out of my neighborhood this morning. It was
Oh.
real fucking nice.
We got rain, bro. We're in South Jersey, but all we get is rain down here, right at the shore.
Yeah, where I'm from in Jersey, like literally, if you drive 10 miles south, it'll be like 2 inches of snow. But where I am, it's like 6.5, and no plows for 4 hours.
Oh, you're up in the mountains, dude.
Yeah, where we are, it's closer to New York State. Like literally, I could drive right to New York State in 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
It's way more the boonies than it is closer to New York City.
Shit. Yeah, I grew up north, and I was like 10 minutes from the city, so I figured that's like where you were.
Whereabouts up north?
New Milford.
Okay, yeah. Where I'm from, it's called West Milford, and has nothing to do with New Milford. There's a lot more
Yeah, there's,
heroin
like,
and Confederate flags.
Horses. You guys got like horse ranches out there, and like yeah.
So New Milford was just like, fuck West Milford.
West
We need to build a
Milford, yeah,
New
no,
Milford.
we're not going to West Milford. We're settling in New Milford.
Yeah, West Milford is where they send people from New Milford when they want to get rid of them.
I remember too. One of the first like anti-drug commercials like showed our high school, and it was such a joke because like all the other towns around us just called us like New Milford Get High School because everyone was fucking getting high. So
Oh yeah, my high school was very much about the anti-drug stuff, and in the same classes where they're showing videos, my friend is asking me to cover for him as he's crushing up pills to sort him on the desk.
we were the
This is going
first.
great.
We were the first school that had Dare as well. Like that's just so funny because the same Dare officers would pull us over like years later and be like, "Why are you driving? Get home. You're too drunk."
Oh yeah, I remember when Dare came along, and like it was like sixth grade in class, and they're talking to us, and then like after it's done, the cop pulls me aside and he goes, "Hey, I know your brother. Don't get mixed up in the same things he did." I'm like, I'm 11. Like, what's the problem here?
Give me a few years, bro. Yeah, we also had one of the cops. I forget his name, but he was like, "Yeah, everything's fine in moderation." No, yeah, I wouldn't say everything, but yeah, you were a good cop, officer.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
go back to some of the people who want to smell about heroin. I'm sure they'll listen if they're not 6 feet under already.
Yeah, that's not all right in moderation. But fuck, bro. But your show, Dan, you watch, I listen. How long have you guys been doing it?
You know, we started it back in, I want to say, April or May of last year, and it was me and my buddy Ralph, who I've known since high school, that started it. And it was just one of these things. We're like hanging out and we just shoot the shit, and we're like, why don't we just record this? Because I did a sports podcast a while back that ended up with a pretty good following, and life comes up and things got in the way. I live with my girl, and we have this garage that no one was using. Like what do you use a garage for? You don't put fucking cars in it. And
Right.
we decided let's soundproof the thing. Let's get some shit in here. We hung up all kinds of posters and everything. I had the equipment, built a rig and everything, and it just kind of went from there.
Cool. Yeah, because it has got a great sound. That's why I was wondering if you had done a previous podcast or like, I don't know how you guys put it together, but it sounds great. You guys are great together. It's really good.
Yeah, well, the unfortunate thing from the beginning was when Ralph he's not the co-host anymore because unfortunately he works for a major mobile phone company, I'll say, without giving the name away, and he is in HR. So even from the beginning, with him on it, it was a matter of like tiptoeing around certain things. And eventually he ended up getting a promotion just a few months ago, where he's like one of the heads.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want to hinge on anything you want to say. So he's still involved with the show. The new co-host, Taylor, is a very good friend of ours, one of our first guests we had. And now I can let loose a little bit more and say the things I want to say, which sometimes get me in trouble.
Yeah, I already know I'm going nowhere. I'm a scourge of society. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the show. So.
No, I embraced a long time ago that I'm an absolute nothing, so I'm just going to ride with it.
Jeez. What do you guys do? You guys, you guys do like the regular banter stuff, but you guys also like each one of you guys reviews something different, correct? Like an album or a movie.
Correct. So I'm a huge cinema buff. I watch a ton of movies. I have a ton of movies, and both Ralph and Taylor are huge music guys. They both like keep up with movies too, but I go pretty deep. And we decided each week I'll give a movie, he gives an album. We come back the next week and review them. That's really only like 15 to 20 minutes of the show.
Okay.
And then we just kind of shoot the shit. We kind of stay in the world of movies, music, but then we'll look for like weird, out of control news stories, all the bullshit PC culture we like dissecting and picking apart.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was listening, very much liking that kind of stuff. I loved it.
Correct. Yeah. When I was listening as well. I'm like, oh, these guys get it.
You guys, do you ever pick like something fucked up though? Do you ever pick like a shitty album, like just to fuck with your buddy?
Oh, yeah. Ralph gave me an album, a Lou Reed album called Metal Machine Music, and I know Lou Reed. Everyone knows that awful song that they play all the time. I forgot the name of it now. Yeah, the same one that no one actually wants to hear, but we pretend we do. And I was like, all right, I'll give this album a try, and it's a 40 to 50-minute album of just ambient noise, because Lou Reed was a pretentious asshole that wanted to piss off record executives. And Ralph knew this and wanted to see if I'd actually listen to it. And I'm like, each song is like 12 minutes of just noise.
Oh.
And I'm like skipping each song. I'm like, this son of a bitch. And I think I gave him, one time I gave him like the awful unreleased Fantastic Four movie from 1990 that you have to watch on YouTube.
Is it like four guys in their backyard? 'Cause I might have made that. I might have made that, Dan.
It might be a little bit better than Backyard, but not by much.
Wow.
I know, like, I never watched that movie, but I had heard at the end, does the foot of Galactus just kind of come down somewhere?
I kind of want to watch it on like a secret show. Like I want to just like have a Saturday show and just watch it, Dan.
When I gave it to Ralph, he committed to only watching it when he was on the toilet. It was on YouTube anyway. He's like, this is where this movie deserves to be watched.
I love it.
That one, and you got to watch the Captain America one.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, I know the Captain America. I think I bought that at like a local convention for like $10 on some ripped DVD that some pedo made in his mom's basement.
Oh, my God.
He's got the latex Captain America suit on.
Yeah, and we try. I try to give things sometimes that'll have like a fundamental disagreement. I'm definitely a tougher critic on music than either of those guys is on movies. I'm very particular. I used to be really big into music from a family of musicians, but Taylor gave me like a country album a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this is horse shit. I don't need this. And then the one that Ralph got, he actually got mad at me about. He tells me it's his all-time favorite album, and I go into it with an open mind. Of course, I hated it, so I shit on it. And he was convinced I was fucking with it because I love trolling. I love trolling my friends to the point where like I have a troll on a friend that's been going on for 2.5 years now.
Wow.
And we convinced this guy that. Like me and 3 or 4 of our other friends that were watching this awful show on AMC called Into the Badlands, some dog shit like samurai martial arts show.
I watched like the first episode and I was like, ugh.
The commercial confuses me, so like I'm not touching this.
Yeah, well, we watched like the first 20 minutes of an episode. We're like, this is awful, but we convinced our one friend that we're so into it. So he gets hyped for each season and then comes to us with like recaps of it. And we've convinced him this long that we're watching this dog shit show that he is literally the only person in the world watching.
He's still watching it? Wow, you guys are good.
Oh yeah, oh no, we're pretty fucking mean. We were on another podcast earlier this week, the hashtag Shot for Likes podcast. And Taylor, my co-host, might be the person I fuck with the most. And one of the most famous things I did was, for like a month and a half, I texted him just in all caps, and I told him that my phone was stuck in caps lock. And he's like telling all his friends, oh, my buddy's phone's stuck in caps. He's just a dumb asshole that couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
Oh, you guys gotta constantly be like, what's coming for me? You guys gotta constantly be wondering what somebody's gonna do with
said, like,
to fuck with you.
A couple of my friends said something like that. Like one of them was getting like text message marketing, like we all get randomly for like a mortgage, and he's convinced still that I signed him up for it. And it's not outside the realm of possibility, but eventually, if I get caught, I'll be like, yeah, you got me.
I have to tell this.
That wasn't me.
One of my good buddies has been pulling off for years now one of the greatest trolls ever to a buddy that, well, Rob knows both these people, but I'm just going to mention the one that this troll has been doing to a BL. So my buddy has, like, he moved out of state or whatever, and he so happened to have this guy BL's number. And so for the past, like, 5 years, he's been just getting random phones, like any phone he could find. It's somebody else's cell phone or whatever, and he will take a picture of his shit and send it to BL. And he's been doing this for years, just like once a month. He'll just find a random phone, go like, hey, buddy, let me borrow your phone,
borrow
take
your
a
phone.
picture of his fucking shit, and send it to BL. And this dude, BL, has been getting just shit pictures from random numbers for the past, like, 5 years.
I don't want friends that are going to be nice to me. I want them to kind of treat me like shit because I am going to treat them like shit. It's gonna happen.
You're our kind of people, Dan.
The same thing with my co-host. This might be the meanest of the trolls I've done to him, and it's a two-parter. So me and my co-host, we actually met working at Best Buy for a while. That's like one of my closest circle of friends or people I met working there. And I decided to come up with this game that we just called it Taylor. And if you were working and you're in like a circle of the coworkers, you did nose goes. And the person who last put their finger on their nose had to hit Taylor in the balls, just out of nowhere. And it got to the point where, like, we had minors that worked there going up and just kicking him in the dick. The one time when me and Taylor were working, he was up at the front register. And he's talking to one of the cashiers, and I just see him like, I'm like, this is too perfect of a shot, and I had lost earlier. And I hit him with one of the cleanest Muay Thai kicks to the dick that I ever hit someone with.
Was he helping customers at the time?
Taylor's a big boy. Taylor's like 6'3", and he's like 350. He's a big boy, and he fell, and his fucking pants came down, and his bare ass was out, like right in front of customers, and we both got reprimanded for it. So he eventually got pretty fed up with that to the point where he threw a printer at one of our coworkers. And so I changed the game, and it was just called Taylor 2, and it was again nose goes. But if you lost, you had to post something extremely NSFW on his Facebook wall. We're talking just horrible shit. I think the one that ended it was our buddy. He posted, it's this like big jacked naked dude sitting poolside, and there's like a wolf and the guy has his cock in the wolf's mouth. It's on his public Facebook wall.
Wow. I wonder how many messages or calls he got from his mom. Like, is everything okay, Taylor?
Oh, he turned off his Facebook wall after that. So to this day, no one can post on.
No one can put fucking.
This was like 5 years ago, and he still doesn't let anyone post on his Facebook.
That's amazing.
Dude, you fucked him up for life. God damn.
Yeah, he said that several times. He's like that. I fucked with him to the point that he questions everything.
That's you are a success, Dan. In my eyes, you've
Hey, listen, I'm an Andy Kaufman guy. I live for the long troll.
Yes. I agree. They don't make him like that anymore. Sacha Baron Cohen, he's amazing.
He's the closest one. Andy Kaufman, if he was around now, he'd be like the biggest star in the social media age.
Yes.
The only other person that I think that he definitely trolls people, but he is also just an asshole, is Kanye West, because he's just a prick. And the fact that every time he does something outlandish is right around the time he has an album coming out, and people don't realize
Yes. I was thinking also Colin Quinn. Colin Quinn for a while was doing some amazing.
Colin, notorious and one of the most underrated guys ever, period.
Yes. Totally agree. I want to ask, too, are you guys friends with Bobo from Opie and Anthony?
Yes, actually, I've hung out with Bobo a couple of times.
Wow.
Last year, Ralph and I actually, because we just, we see people fuck with him all the time, and justly most of the time as well. We decided, for Christmas, I work for a ticket company. I do web design for a company like StubHub, kind of.
Okay.
I was like, let's take him to a Devils Rangers game. So we got tickets. He met us at Prudential Center. We took him to a game. I've seen him. I've met him up with him at a bunch of Mets games. But he actually invited both Ralph and I to Anthony Cumia's Halloween party this past year. So we were at the compound with Bobo and all different people that you've seen and heard on O&A throughout the year.
Yeah. That's cool. But I remember like years ago, I think I messaged him because I think I'm friends with him on Facebook or whatever it was. And I messaged him to ask if he'd come on. And he's like, I got to find out if I'm allowed. I just want to know, do you know who decides what he's allowed to do? Does he have to check with, like, Opie?
Okay, so this is a little bit of an elaborate question. So how long ago was this, first of all?
Years. It was probably, like...
When we first started.
It was probably, like, towards
years.
the end of O&A or right after O&A.
Yeah.
And you guys started in, like, 2014, right?
2014. We started probably a couple months before Anthony got fired.
Yes.
Okay. So, as far as he had to ask someone, there's a good chance that he had to run it by his mom because of all the shit he had gotten into throughout the years and the amount of people that told him to come to these things, and then he's just sitting there like an asshole waiting. Even when like we told him we were going to go to the hockey game with him, we were like 5 minutes late, and he's calling my phone every 30 seconds because he's so used to showing up to things that people said they'd be at, and then they're not there. So he's
just used to being fucked with.
The nth degree.
Yes.
And I'm sure if you guys wanted him, I could put in a word for you, and he'd probably give a phoner.
Oh yes, I'd love to. I would love to pick his brain.
Have you guys listened to his Christmas album or the Bobo Show EP at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so he did an album with the guys that actually did our opening song, and they're doing audio work for us right now. A great group of guys out in Chicago called Lobo Sound, and they kept it completely under wraps and did 2 different albums with Bobo over a period of time, and they're pretty funny. You can go to lobosound.com and check them out. But we met Lobo Sound through Bobo actually, and those guys became pretty good friends of ours, and they're doing a bunch of work for us now too. Cool.
Yeah, you guys, your intro is great. I love your opening song. I really enjoy it, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was all Lobo, man. He was just listening to the show, and he came up with that. We're like, oh, hell yeah. And actually, he's putting together a new one for us because the Don't Sniff It, Just Do It, that's me and Ralph. And obviously now that Taylor, we got to come up with something else. And it'll probably be like a series of fat jokes about Taylor being disgusting.
What was that from, the Just Sniff It? Don't Sniff It, Just Do It.
On an episode, for a while, Ralph and I were like doing these things where we found like awful things to eat. We did like the Death Nut Challenge where my girlfriend almost had to call an ambulance for Ralph. And this one, the Don't Sniff It, Just Do It was, Ralph was doing like a juice cleanse because he was on some kind of health kick. And I was like, what do you think it would be like if we threw like a Big Mac in it and then blended it up? So we were going to record in the morning, and I'd completely forgotten to get a Big Mac the night before. And I was like, all right, McDonald's breakfast is going on. Let me go get like a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit or something. So I go to McDonald's and I get 2 of them, and we throw it in it's actually on our YouTube channel as well. We throw it in the blender, and Ralph sniffs it, and it starts out by saying it smells like when you go on vacation but you forgot to take out the garbage, and it starts to get that it was one of the worst smelling things I've ever smelled in my life.
Yeah.
And then we were about to drink it, and I said to Ralph, don't sniff it, just do it. And then he got like a sip, and I took like a solid like gulp, and I like fucking puked everywhere. It was horrendous.
Slim knows all that. He did a Spamuel Adams, which was a Sam Adams and Spam in a blender. What else? Hot dog smoothie.
Hot dog smoothie.
Corned
beef.
I would try that one.
What was the St. Patrick's corned beef and cabbage and like green milk? I think we had. Yeah,
because they made like mint green milk, dude. Yeah, he's drank a lot of gross.
Dan, the hot dog smoothie was literally the worst thing I had ever tasted. It tasted like death because this wasn't just like, hey,
it smelled like that.
It wasn't like, hey, let's ground up a hot dog in a bun. No, it was a hot dog, a bun, and everything that was expired in my refrigerator, plus everything that wasn't expired, plus whatever was sitting in the cabinet and the nearby fly was all thrown in there.
Get this one, Dan. He enjoyed SpaghettiOs and... He enjoyed SpaghettiOs and lube.
The SpaghettiOs and lube was good because the lube was like tasteless, so it just kind of tastes like a creamy SpaghettiOs.
The lube probably coated the SpaghettiO itself.
Yeah.
So it was just like eating plastic. It was good for you.
So it was just better tasting than SpaghettiOs.
Lube. He likes that one, bro. Oh God. Did you see? Being a movie buff, did you see the Aladdin trailer, Dan?
Ooh.
Yes, I did see the Aladdin trailer. What the fuck?
Dude,
literally, I think I posted a picture of Will Smith, and I said Avatar 2 looks like a piece of shit.
And it's just Will Smith that looks bad in it. Like, everything else looks amazing.
Everything else looked great, we thought. We just watched it before, so, yeah.
The first teaser they showed for it, I was like, this looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to, like, the live-action Lion King. I like the live-action Jungle Book. Then I'm also not a big Will Smith fan. Will Smith is horribly overrated. So I was skeptical to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, we've had this discussion on the show a couple times. Will Smith I don't know if he has a single like movie I would call great under his belt. He's got a bunch of good ones, some good performances, but can you name a great movie, like a legitimate classic?
I don't know.
Independence Day, which is good and bad in its own right.
I'm a 90s kid.
That was what was it? I, Robot? Or?
See, because I'm a 90s kid, I'm gonna say the first Men in Black.
I've never seen a Men in Black.
Really
I've never
really
seen
good.
Men in Black.
Really great movie.
Like Bad Boys 1 and 2, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're talking his acting, he was great in Ali, and he was great in Concussion. I just don't know, like, that movie that I consider legitimately great. As much as I like Men in Black and
Like
I
a
like
top 10 movie.
Bad Boys, I don't know
Yeah.
if I consider them great movies. And when you think about, like, movie superstars, almost all of them have one movie you would consider legitimately great, like a classic.
See, I feel that way about Tom Cruise. Well, except for Tropic Thunder. But
Yeah,
Tom
All
Cruise.
right, that's where I will fundamentally disagree.
Really?
When I look at his filmography, there's like very few movies on there I hate, and I am a diehard fan of the Mission Impossible series on top of it.
Again, I've never
Those
seen one of
movies-
those. So maybe.
Have you seen the newer ones?
No.
I'm not kidding you. So the first two are whatever. They're 90s bad, good kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then around 3, when Philip Seymour Hoffman was in the third one, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
That's kind of when the series takes off. And then they just turn into these unbelievably good. I know people that hate Tom Cruise that love the Mission Impossible movies. Especially the most recent one,
Yeah.
I think was the 6th or 7th movie, and it was the best one. It wasn't even close as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. Yeah, that was Tropic
Yeah.
Thunder for me. Like, I never considered him anything good until that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, that really is him.
Well,
I
Tropic Thunder,
watched the whole movie, and I was
plays
like,
one of
is
the
that really
greatest
him?
Jewish stereotypes ever.
Yes. I can't believe they got him to do that. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like Tom Cruise is a tremendous asshole. Like, he's not a good person, but I think about some of the classics like Top Gun, which is the gayest movie ever. Days of Thunder.
I've never seen any of those.
There's a Vanilla Sky, Magnolia, Collateral, Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick's last movie.
I liked
He's got a ton that I like. I love.
I kind of love the Vanilla Sky. That is one I've seen, and I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable movie, and
Never
the
seen
twists
that.
and turns it takes you on throughout the movie. It's
Yes.
that was the one I just gave Taylor for our last episode.
I did hear
previous
that.
episode. We talked about Vanilla Sky,
Yeah.
and he had never seen it. It's kind of one of those ones that flew under the radar. And the same thing with Magnolia and Eyes Wide Shut, which again was Kubrick's last movie. And
You saw? I
a
never
lot
saw
of people
that.
see
It's creepy.
a lot of people see political parallels in Eyes Wide Shut. As far as like the sex rings that are existing out there.
Cool. Yeah, I always wanted to check that one out.
I never seen Vanilla Sky, so that's
Oh.
one that I gotta check
Let me
out.
check it out. It almost reminded
Yeah.
me of what was that one? Oh my god, what was the Vietnam one with the acid that God damn it. Jacob's Ladder. It almost reminded me of it's like a Jacob's
yeah.
Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder.
Yes.
Very similar. Very similar. Good reference.
I never saw Jacob's Ladder.
Oh,
I
that's
saw a lot of
great
movies that I
movie,
get
yeah.
to
Get Jacob's Ladder.
But
Check
I do,
that out.
before we move on, I do want to go back to the Aladdin thing, and I was talking to Slambo on break who would have been a better choice for the genie, and like the first two people that came to mind for me is The Rock or Vin Diesel. I think would have been great genies.
Who
and then
plays the Guardians? Who's the big green guy?
Batista.
Yes.
Batista, yep.
He would be great too. And then just out of nowhere, for some reason, like as during this interview, because I was just thinking about this, I was like, Robert Downey Jr. would be like a revolutionary, like genie. Like it would be very
Genie.
interesting,
Ooh.
very different, and
But
I could
90s
see him.
Robert Downey or now Robert Downey? I want 90s Robert Downey where he's got like coke and a gun in his fucking glove box.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with that Aladdin. I mean, it doesn't like I should have been a little more skeptical when Guy Ritchie was directing because Guy Ritchie
Oh, yeah.
hasn't made very many good movies.
How
so,
the mighty have
yeah,
fallen.
pump the brakes. I'm being excited for that.
I didn't know Guy was involved in that. The only one I like
Yeah,
is
that makes it all the worse.
I like Snatch.
Snatch. I love. I never saw
and Lock, Stock, and Two.
Yeah, that
Lock,
was
Stock,
all right. I think
I've seen them both. Yeah, I think I like them both. Yeah.
He's got a few good ones, but I mean, over the last few years, it gets to that point where you have to question what kind of territory their careers had in.
Yeah, that's where it is. Dan, can you tell us what you have planned for the next episode, or is that hush hush?
No, I can talk about it. We actually, so this week it's episode 40, and usually every 10th episode we kind of mix it up where I give my co-host an album, and he gives me a movie. They always have to clear the movie with me first because they don't know if I saw it or not, so I still don't know. We actually have a guest calling in. If you guys never heard the story about Joe Lazito, this was maybe 6 or 7 years ago. There was a guy that went on a killing spree in New York City in the subways with a machete, just hacking people up. And Joe Lazito saw this happening, and he saw 2 NYPD officers hiding instead of going after the guy. So Joe attacked the machete-wielding guy using stuff he had seen watching UFC. and he got all hacked to shit. I think he had to get like 30 to 50 stitches. You could find it all over the internet because he's been in the court case with the NYPD ever since. And it's the anniversary of that attack he stopped. So he's actually going to be calling in on Sunday morning.
Cool, dude. That sounds awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. Thank you so much for talking to us, Dan.
Absolutely, man. I had a great time, and hopefully we'll have you guys on soon.
Absolutely. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play. You Watch I Listen, or go to youwatchilisten.com, and we're on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Awesome, brother. Have a good one.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too.
Take care.